Gentlemen, the Daily Beast, which is typically a liberal site, has a couple of writers there that are pretty solid, for the most part. They have an exclusive today. 50 spies say ISIS intelligence was cooked by this administration. It's being called a revolt by intelligence pros who are paid to give their honest assessment of the ISIS war, but are instead seeing the reports turned into happy talk. More than 50 intelligence and analysts working out of the U.S. military Central Command have formally complained that their reports on ISIS and al-Qaeda's branch in Syria were being inappropriately altered by senior officials. The Daily Beast has learned that, this is very, very serious. The complaints spurred the Pentagon's Inspector General to open an investigation into the alleged manipulation of intelligence. It's like Obama manipulating Obamacare information, Obama manipulating intelligence information. The fact that so many people complained suggests there are deep-rooted systemic problems in how the U.S. military command charged with the war against the self-proclaimed Islamic State assesses intelligence. The cancer was within the senior level of the intelligence command, one defense official said. 2 senior analysts at CENTCOM signed a written complaint sent to the Defense Department Inspector General in July, alleging the reports, some of which were briefed to President Obama, portrayed the terror groups as weaker than the analysts believe they are. The reports were changed by CENTCOM higher-ups to adhere to the administration's public line that the U.S. is winning the battle against ISIS and al-Nusra, al-Qaeda's branch in Syria, the analysts claim. This is incredible to me. CENTCOM senior command, obviously at the direction of the White House, probably that Valerie Jarrett, changing the intelligence information. Now, that complaint was supported by 50 other analysts, some of whom have complained about politicizing of intelligence reports for months. That's according to 11 individuals, 11, who are knowledgeable about the details of the report and who spoke to the Daily Beast on condition of anonymity. 11! The accusations suggest a large number of people tracking the inner workings of the terror groups think their reports are being manipulated to fit a public narrative. The allegations echo charges that political appointees and senior officials cherry-picked intelligence about Iraq's supposed weapons program in 2002 and 2003. So now, what do you imagine is going to happen with the Iran deal? Unbelievable. The 2 signatories to the complaint were described as the ones formally lodging it. The additional analysts are willing and able to back up the substance of the allegations with concrete examples. Some of those CENTCOM analysts described the sizable cadre of protesting analysts as a revolt by intelligence professionals who are paid to give their honest assessment based on facts, not to be influenced by national-level policy. Now, these analysts have accused senior-level leaders, including the Director of Intelligence and his deputy in CENTCOM, of changing their analyses to be more in line with the Obama administration's public contention that the fight against ISIS and al-Qaeda is making progress. The analysts take a more pessimistic view about how military efforts to destroy the groups are growing. The large number of analysts who complained to the Pentagon Inspector General hasn't been previously reported. Some of them are assigned to work at CENTCOM, the U.S. military's command for the Middle East and Central Asia, but are officially employed by the Defense Intelligence Agency. The complaints allege that in some cases key elements of intelligence reports were removed, resulting in a document that did not accurately capture the analyst's conclusions, sources familiar with the protest said. But the complaint also goes beyond alleging altering of reports and accuses some senior leaders at CENTCOM of creating an unprofessional work environment. One person who knows the contents of the written complaint sent to the Inspector General said it used the word Stalinist to describe the tone set by officials overseeing CENTCOM's analysis. See, what Obama has done is he's put his play soldiers in senior positions. He's put his play soldiers in senior positions to abuse real soldiers and real intelligence agents. And by the way, this is what the communists do. Many described a climate in which the analysts felt they could not give a candid assessment of the situation in Iraq and Syria. Some felt it was a product of commanders protecting their career advancement by putting the best spin on the war. Some reports crafted by the analysts that were too negative in their assessment of the war were sent back down the chain of command or not shared up the chain, several analysts said. Still others, feeling the climate around them, self-censored their reports, so affirmed already held beliefs. Two of the officials who spoke to the Daily Beast said the analysts began airing their complaints in October in an effort to address the issue internally, and only went to the Inspector General when that effort failed. Some of those who complained were urged to retire. One official familiar with the report told the Daily Beast some agreed to leave. In recent months, members of the Obama administration have sought to paint the fight against ISIS in rosy hues, despite the terror army seizure of major cities like Mosul and Fallujah. ISIS is losing, John Allen, the retired Marine general charged with coordinating the ISIS campaign in July. I'm confident that over time we will win, indeed degrade, and ultimately destroy ISIL, Secretary of State John Kerry said in March, using the government's preferred acronym for the group. No, I don't think we're losing, Obama said in May. Yet a growing group of intelligence analysts persisted with their complaints. For some who have served at CENTCOM for more than a decade, scars remain from the run-up to the 2003 war in Iraq, when poorly written intel reports suggesting Iraq had weapons of mass destruction formed the basis, when it didn't, according to this report, formed the basis of George W. Bush administration's case for war. Let me see what else they have here. Well, that's all I have. Of course, they had to get in that shot against George W. Bush in the next to last sentence. It has nothing to do with George W. Bush. They're being ordered to lie about the intelligence. They're being ordered to pretend that we're having an effect militarily on ISIS and al-Qaeda when, in fact, they're getting bigger and stronger. And so I would ask you, the American people, how do you think the Obama administration is going to report Iran's conduct with respect to this phony, fraudulent deal? They're going to lie about it. So the Iranians are going to lie about what they're doing, and the American administration is going to lie about what the Iranians are doing. And that's when we have a real president, and a real Secretary of Defense, and a real Secretary of State, and a real director of the CIA, and a real director of the NSC. In other words, when we have a real administration that cares about America's national security, that's when the truth will come out. And at some point, that's when the war will have to take place. Because Obama has lit the fuse.